What's up, guys? Nostal-Gi-Oh here, back with another Market Watch-esque video. Today we're going to be talking about Edison cards that I think you should go ahead and get now before they go up even more. We're going to be exploring a lot of cards that are just minimizing down in quantity and just raising in price, and just cards that I think are maybe either A, too cheap, or B, just disappearing from the internet, and you might want to get them before they are completely gone from the internet. I mostly have this ordered in a few different ways. I took into the equation like price point, in terms of sales history currently and in the past, like recent past, and where I think it might go in the future, and also quantity. There's a lot of things here that have low, medium, high quality and low, medium, high price point, and we're going to dive into each one of those things about each card, essentially. Also, I have a small list of cards right here that just got like bought out, or like at least just raised in price this week for the Edison format. Just to go ahead and further explain, hey, the Edison format is popping off. First off, Caius, every Caius, gold and ultra Caiuses are like 8 to 15 right now. With the ultra being around that 8 to 10 and the gold being around like 13 to 15. There's also Shadowfoil Spined Gilman, which is like an interesting one, but it's like $5 now when it was like $1. Common Caius was $1, now is $3. We have Common Colossal Fighter was $1, now is $5 to $7. That'll probably have a little bit of a fallout because there's still a lot of super colossal fighters out on the internet. And also Substitute was like $10, 15 to 20 maybe for like first edition copies. Now it's like 30. There's a bunch of things this week that are just gone now. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to follow suit. Also, Revived King Hades is another card that is just completely gone now, basically, because Diva Zombie just won the last event, the last online 200-plus player event. Diva Zombie took it, which, Revived King Hades only has 2 prints, both being from the same set, an Ultra and an Ulti. And, the Ulti has hit, crazy numbers now for that, but, yeah, that's still a card that is pretty much gone. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and just get into the actual video itself. So I have a million tabs open here, and we're just going to be exploring a bunch of things. So Brain Control is obviously one of the most staple cards to the Edison format. It's in nearly every deck. It's really good. It's also good in other past formats. It's played as like a side deck, and in like odd decks in GOAT format. It also has obviously playability in a bunch of other past formats, just a lot of overlap. Unfortunately, this card did get, errated, so, like, the newer prints are, like, kind of weird, but that also does kind of help these older prints, because now these older prints that are pre-errata do have a little bit more reasoning to be bought, right? So the Dual Terminal 3 copy here is down to about 13 listings, just a very, very low amount of listings. It's only $3 for a good couple of listings here, and then 4, and then 5, and then, 5, 8, and then gone. So I just think this card definitely deserves to be around like that $10 price. Now, DT stuff is kind of like a little promiscuous right now because of course we did have the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1, that reprinted a bunch of .DT commons, and ultra rares. They don't look as good as the old ones, definitely in my opinion. They don't have the dual terminal stamp as well. But still saying, buying these and sitting on them, it's a little risky. So, don't just go and buy every copy of this card or anything, because we could see a reprint in the future, but I think likely we're not going to be seeing a reprint of the .tt stuff, like a chapter 2 of Hidden Arsenal reprints for a little while, right? Like it'll probably be like a year. We might get one next year or something, but I don't think we'll get another one this year, like anytime really soon. So I don't think this is like a huge worry, but this is still a really cool version of Brain Control that I just think it's cool, right? I just think that's a really cool card. It's very staple. We'll also talk about the gold series. This one does have a lot more listings, 49 right now, but only 10 near mints, going from $7 to $11 on the first page, or 16 of first edition, or of near mints. But there is a couple people with very high quality. Core TCG, it's 7 of them. So yeah, I don't think this is a card that like you need to be buying a million of right now. But I think this is a card that just high rarity Brain Controls pre-errata. I think that's not a bad cop right now. Find these in binders and stuff, and that'll be pretty good. But just looking at you know, Brain Control as a whole, the only foil copies are the TLM Super, the TLM Ultra Ulti, DR Super, Secret from Legendary Collection, Gold, and the two that we just talked about, or Gold and the Dusa and the DT. So, you know, you have a pick of like 7 copies here, different ones, but Ulti is pretty much gone. You know, it's like $100 plus for a first edition mod play. You also have super rare DR at $40-$50. This 29 is a little false. It is $40 for a light play copy. I mean, unless you want to get a mod player damage. And then the secret rare is, I mean, like 12, 14, 15 with only 2 pages of listings. So, you know, I think like the prime targets here, it's definitely secret. It's definitely nice, but it's already at like, you know, double what it was a year ago. But you have DT still very, very attainable at like $3 to $4. Low quantity, but $3 to $4 DT Brain Control. So I think that's a really good cop right now. And the Deuce is ugly, but it's also errated. So like we're just kind of skipping over Deuce Brain Control. Anyway, that is Brain Controls. Next, we have Snowman Eater, the Advent Calendar Super Rare. Now, if you guys know Snowman Eater, this card is pretty cool for a lot of formats. You know, in any format where water, like Mermail stuff, is good, this card sees play. This card also just sees play, like, in the sideboard of anything that plays, like, you know, the Ab-Zero Miracle Fusion stuff. It's, like, kind of a better side than maybe something like, Jujutsu Master and stuff like that, like other set guys that do something good. But yeah, Snowman Eater I think is a really cool penny stonk. This is one that I was talking about a year ago, a penny stonk, the Advent Calendar Super. It was about $1, you know, a year ago, and there are still like a couple here like around $1. But it's pretty consistently a $3 card, $3.50. It only has 2 pages of listings where the end of it is $7 to $9. And there's only realistically like 20 copies on TCG Player. So, you know, this is definitely a card that you want to get sooner or later, in my opinion. Obviously, you missed the first ticket. It was $1, you know, but this card definitely still has room to grow. I think this could definitely be like a $10 card. Diva Hero, Frog Hero, are really, really prevalent in the Edison format, but this card also does have that overlap of a couple other different formats, especially the ones with like Mermail and water in it. This card is, you know, notoriously a card that you play in the early formats of those formats like Cosmo Blazer format and stuff. Actually, in Format Library, shout out Format Library on Discord, they're doing a tournament this week of a format where this card actually fits perfectly in. It's Mermail format, Cosmo Blazer right after that. I forget what it was called, Mayfield or something, YCS Mayfield or something. But, you know, go into, you know, Format Library if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But this is, I just think it's a good. Obviously, you know, the penny stonk would have paid off, you know, a lot now. But this card, I still think at $3, it's pretty fair because the super rare, the only other foil Snowman Eater is the Turbo Pack Super, and that's sitting around $40 for light play, $50 for Nermit. So, you know, if you don't want to play a common or star foil, there's also star foil. That's not a bad penny stonk. Like, this is definitely a penny stonk, but it's not really a penny if you like have to pay shipping and stuff, which you will on any, you know, of these. But still, like, I don't think that's a bad one. Next, we have Dupe Frog Super Rare. Now, this is one that I think is really good. Obviously, it's expensive compared to, like, the, you know, it's pretty expensive. And as we see here, like, looking at the price chart, the price history trending chart, it's just been slowly going up. And it's now, like, a $13, $14 card with really, really low listings. 10 listings, 1 page of listings. So, you know, I think getting these $10 mod plays, if you're willing to play, like, mod plays, but light play at $10, that's a good cop. You know, the even the $12, $13 light plays and Yermins, I think those could be potentially good cops. I could definitely believe this card at like $20. It's the only print of Dupe Frog that is foil. The other ones are commons. These might be good, you know, penny stonks because they actually are pennies now. But really what we're talking about is the super rare Dupe Frog. And obviously you missed your first ticket at like $6, but it's still like $10, $12, and, you know, this card sees play in a lot of different formats. Second and third to that big, you know, Edison tournament that I was just talking about where Diva Zombies won, making Hades get bought out. Dupe Frog, Frog Hero got second and third at that event. Dupe Frog was a 2 of in both lists of second and third. So just saying. You know, this card, I think the rest of these cards are kind of gone. You know, I was an early adapter. I got my copies of this around $6 about a year ago, and I think, you know, that was an opportune time to get them. But I think now is still, you know, second best. You miss your first ticket. You can still see the show. You know, get the scalped tickets. It's okay. You know, we all have to do it at some point. Next, we have Magical Androids. So this is another one that was a penny stock that I was preaching about 2 years ago when I started getting into Edison format. DT Magical Android was $1. I remember I bought about 20 of them from Core TCG for $1. And we see the price history chart, right? Early this year, January, it was $2-3 still. And now we're seeing the just price hike over and over, continually going up. And now there's sales around that $13-12 mark for the DT copies. There's only one page. I still think, I definitely know $10 is pretty expensive for this, since I was just talking about how, they used to be $1. However, every copy of Magical Android is 8+, and it's very, very staple for Edison. Most decks will play it. I think if you're playing Edison, this is a good thing to get. Trade for it. Go buy one if you need it. Like, I think this is just a card that you need for the Edison format. So if you're exploring the Edison format, you're getting into Edison, you need one of these cards, maybe two. It wouldn't be a bad idea to just have these cards. And they're still $7. The listings are just going away, but look at the sales, the sales history. They weren't really getting touched for a while until like March, like when people start playing Time Wizard format again, and they just sell copies, multiple copies a day at this $10 price for just like the Ultra. Same with the Super, multiple copies a day are being sold. So I think, this card is just naturally, it's not a buyout. It's just naturally everybody playing Edison. People are playing Edison. People are exploring Time Wizard format as a whole. And this card fits into a couple other formats. It gets power crept and slowly pushed out pretty early into the Synchro format. However, we have Edison. We have like a little bit before Edison and a little bit after Edison, where this card really just fits into the format very well. And it's staple to the extra deck, one of in almost every extra deck. So I think, you should get this before it goes up even more. And I think it definitely has potential to go up even more. Next, we have Regeki Break. And Super Regeki Break is definitely a stonk that people have been talking about for a very long time. This is one of the first cards that actually has a high amount of quantity, or like a mid to high. This is about 50 listings, and half are first ed. They start around $8 for like mod play first ed and like unlim near mint and stuff, and then they quickly rise to about $10 for light play to near mint first edition copies. So you're looking at spending about $10 per copy on this card. But let me go ahead and shine a little bit of light on this card. It also fits into GOAT format very, very well. In Edison format, most people do tend to play more towards that PWWB, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, than Regeki Break. However, in multiple lists, a lot of these cards are being played. We're talking about the Frog Hero list again, shout out Ragnarok. But they brought in the second and third list, Frog Hero, played 3 of this and 3 Wing Wind Blast, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. So I just think, this is a good time to get it. This has been steadily going, staying at the same price for a while. So I wouldn't even feel bad buying this card at $8 to $10 because it's been $8 to $10 for the last couple months, like 3-4 months. So I just think now is a good time to get this. I don't think, maybe go and get yourself a play set, right? Because I think this is definitely a good one that will just continue to go up. It's the high rarity version. It's the only foil, if you don't know. Regeki Break has a bunch of commons, 1 super rare foil, 1 foil print in general. It's this one. I know it was $5 2 years ago, but guys, 2 years ago, double, that's just how the world works with the Yu-Gi-Oh format now. And this card, I wouldn't feel bad buying this at $8 to $10. And definitely, you see this card in binders and stuff. I think it's an amazing pickup. I think this is something that I would be, every time I see in binders and stuff, I'm like, oh, I want that. It's just one of those cards. Next, we have Bottomless Trap Holes. So I have a couple of them here. We have the gold one, but the one that I wanted to shine the most light on is the secret. I think this is the best, or the second best version. Obviously, the CP is the best version, but this is pretty unattainable for most people. It stayed, look at the price trend. The lowest was 300 in, recent history, this year. And this card is just a very, very difficult card to find. If you're looking for anything more than, mod play, which most people do, you're looking at 400 plus. This is just a pretty unattainable card. For the majority of people. It is obviously high max rarity, but it's not only high rarity that is played. So we always, we have the ultra rare stragglers down here and the gold rares at under $1, 50 cents plus. But we have the secret and the golds here. The gold is going to be around $7 for the first light plays. but quickly runs out of listings. 24 listings, that's not a lot. It's 3 pages, and it quickly goes up to that $20, $30 mark after 2 pages. Now, this is obviously high rarity, and I don't think it's even the preferred high rarity, not max rarity. I think that is goes to Secret. But Secret, as you can see here, has been steadily going up. Kind of hit the decline. But Bottomless is a very, very staple card to the Edison format. It's a 2 of in almost every deck that plays any amount of traps. It's in a lot of side decks, even if you don't play traps. And this card also has a lot of overlap in other formats. 2014, Hat format, 2013. All of the formats between Edison and this, honestly, like without Tengu being the main card, this is huge. Like, this is a huge card just for the game in general for like years. It's even in GOAT, and people play it in GOAT, not very frequently, but it is in GOAT played. So I think this is a really cool version of it. Obviously, you know, it was like a couple dollars like a year ago, but now we're still seeing Near Mint and LP First Edition sell around $6 to $7 pretty regularly here. And 36 listings, not a huge amount of listings. So I definitely think this is a good one. And also Legendary Collection, you know, Yugi World, Joey's World, in this era, these cards see buyouts every single day. And maybe not buyouts, but just like genuine buying, going up, price hiking on these cards. I think these cards are really good cops. I don't know if you want to go and buy them. I don't think it's a bad idea to just go buy yourself 2 for your Edison deck that you actually enjoy. You know, put the high rarity cool staples into one of your decks, or multiple if you are a monster like me. And you know, Bottomless Trap Hole, Gold and Secret. I think these are good stocks. I think these are definitely good things to get to. Next, we have Treeborn Frog. Now, yeah, that was the ulti. We're going to talk about all of the Treeborn Frog copies here, but really just to make it so the Dusa seems more interesting to most players, because that's what we're going to be talking about, is the Dusa Ultra. Now, I know Dusa Ultras are kind of ugly. I know what you're thinking. They're kind of ugly. They have the wavy, you know, it is unique, and some people do enjoy that. Some people do like it. But we've seen Dusa buyouts and just price hiking very, very regularly, right? We see it with Tsukiyomi. We've seen it with Magician of Faith. We've seen it with BLS. We've seen it with Red MD. We've seen it with, what other cards are in here? Pot of Duality. We've seen it with the Wonder. I think this is his only print. A Hero Lives is $10. Like, Chimera Tech is $6. Necro Valley is $5. Like, Gale is $5. We see this time and time again with Duelist Saga, that I think, you know, I mean, we see this price hike. It was $2, now it's $3. You miss your first ticket, but the second ticket is not even that much more expensive, right? We're seeing sales every single day of this card being bought at this $3 to $4 price. There's a good bit of listings, 39 listings, but I don't think this is a too early time to get this card. I think maybe not like just go to TCG Player and buy all the copies, but I think this is definitely a really, really good card to just pick up every time you see them. You know, this card was like $1 to $2 about 2 years ago when I started seeing this card, and I was like, okay, Dusa cards, it's time for Dusa cards. I missed most of them. I got Tsukiyomi and Treeborn Frog, and that was really it for the Dusas. And I think this is a really good one. Still an opportune time. Frog is good in every format, basically, of all time. Treeborn Frog can still potentially see play today. Probably not. I think that's really hopeful. I think the Frog stuff is just swap and Ronin, but still, Treeborn Frog is really good. Every iteration, it has a perfect circle format that is very, very iconic. That this is one of the main cards, the Monarch perfect circle deck. So like this, it fits into so many past formats. And this is the highest rarity that's not 50 plus for respectable copies. You know, you have the Ultra from DR, that's just an incredibly expensive card. You also have the Ulti, which is an incredibly expensive card now. And this is still a card that you can buy, right? You can still buy copies of the Dusa Treeborn Frog for like $3 to $4. I just think this is a good card for you to buy. I just think I stamp that. I have a lot of them. So, you know, I'm not just talking on my ass. I actually believe in this card. Next, we have Skyscourge Northerass. Now, this is a really interesting one. This deck is picking up a lot of steam in the Edison format. A lot of people are pioneering new age formats or new age deck like building and stuff. People are tired of like doing 1 to 2 plays per turn with the normal Edison stuff. They want to play some more wild off the wall stuff. This is one of the biggest decks pioneering this new age of Edison deck building where you want to do a lot. Skyscourge Northerass is crazy. If you didn't read this card, you should read this card because it does some crazy stuff. Basically, it nukes the entire hand and board of both players, and then you draw a card. So you're up 1 card. But really what you do is you do that with Red Eye's Eclipse, or Red Eye's Wyvern, and the, what's his name? Red MD in the grave, and then on the end phase you special back out that Red MD, and now you're up 1 card and a Red MD to your opponent's draw for turn. And you probably win the game when this resolves, like, most of the time. And, like, there's not a lot of, like, there's not too much grave stuff. Like, you can play against, like, Frog Narcs and they bring back Treeborn Frog, or you can play against, like, Diva Hero and they have a Malicious in the grave and top deck Diva or something. And that's really the only way. Like, otherwise, you're in a winning position just like that. Just like that. That's all it takes. So this is definitely one of those cards that I think you should be copping. There's not a lot of listings, 18 listings. That is first edition. 32 total listings, but 18 first edition copies. You do have, your $5 to $6 mod play and light play first editions. But the first editions that are near mint, that are like regular in quantity, are about $6. We have Core TCG with a bunch. We have Card Crack with some. We have Evo Gaming with some. But very, very quickly, this card becomes a $10 card, as you see here. It takes like, I don't know, 5 or 6 people that really want to play this deck to do this. Now, we do see the price chart. Boom. Just continually going up. I think it will just continually go up. I don't think this card will really see a lot of like repopulation, who has these just like chilling, right? Like, not a lot of people other than like Edison players who have a set of them in their Edison deck, right? So I think this is a pretty good card, a pretty solid pickup around that $6 price point. Obviously, you could have got it a couple months ago for $3-4, but Edison is popping off now. Now you're getting into Edison. Now you want to, pick up these stocks for Edison. This is your chance to get it before it's a $10 card, $20 card. And if you're looking to play this, even getting it at $6, that's like vendor price, like some vendor price. If it goes up to like 10, and that's not a bad idea. I think this is a good card to just sit on, get your copies now. Next, we have Burial from a Different Dimension, and we're seeing the super rares go up a good bit, about $1 to $2. This was about a quarter. This was a penny stonk that I was preaching about a year ago. About a year ago. It's from the Secret Forces, so it's like fairly old now, And this card is just a really solid card in Edison format. You see it in Zombie List, you see it in Vayu List, you see it in a whole bunch of different things. And Burial it's just a good card, right? It has other past formats as well, so it has potential to overlap into other past formats, making this just a better stock. Now this is the super rare. I wanted to talk about the super rare briefly so that we could get into the all copies of Burial, and that includes the Ultra and the DT. Now the DT is very low on quantities, about 15 now, about 2 pages, and we see it go from a 15 mod play, light play at 20. We see it price hike a bit to 25 to 30 and then gone. And that is this card. This is max rarity in my opinion. Some people may say that the Ultra is max rarity, and that's a respectable opinion as well. Once again, there's a good chance, there's a solid chance that the .dts will be reprinted. And we saw a bit of fallout on the .dts before with the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 reprints, Mistworm, Card Trooper, Stratos. We saw a whole bunch of these kind of die down. But now they're kind of just chilling again. Mistworm was a bit of a rough one, but it was because it's all buyout, and the $60 price point was kind of a fake price, and now it's like a $30 card, and now it's like a real price, but you can get the new ones for like $3 or $1, and yeah, it's kind of hard for me to tell you to buy .dts now. I'm a big fan of .dts. Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 hit my collection pretty hard. I have pretty high quantities of a lot of really expensive .dt cards. I have multiple Card Troopers. I have multiple sets of cards like Burial, the Naturia Barkion. I have multiple sets of Mistworm DT. So Chapter 1 hit me pretty hard. And it is what it is. It happens. So it's pretty hard for me to tell you to invest in .dts now, because there's definitely a chance we'll get Hidden Arsenal Chapter 2. But I still think for the time being, that's going to be a while from now. We just got Chapter 1 like a month ago. So I think, we probably won't see it for like a year. And with Edison and other past formats, this is max rarity, or this one's max rarity, and both have fairly low listings that I think it's not a bad idea to go ahead and pick them up while they're like $20 cards. Maybe not just go and buy them right now, because we do see like a price hike from that year, or from like the beginning of the year to now. But still, I think it's not the worst time in the world to get into DT Burial and high rarities of Burial. Next, we have Tragoedia. This is a really interesting one to me. So as we see with Tragoedia, Let me go ahead and pull up all the Tragoedias so that I can explain this better. But we have a whole bunch of commons, right? And then we have a Starfoil that has high quantities. Starfoil will have its day. Starfoil cards of every like good card will have its day one day. I assure you that. You know, Raikos, Card Troopers, Tragoedias, cards like this that are like 50 cents to $1 now, should be a couple dollars in the future for sure. I think that wholeheartedly. And much better than like Battle Pack Black Rares and stuff. They're kind of lame, right? But we have, as far as actual foil, not star foil, foil cards. There's 2 foil prints of Tragoedia. The Alti is 130 plus, as you see here, and that's like LP. Yeah, it's like 135, 145, 150, realistically. It's like $150. For the Ulti Trag. So the Ultra Trag is really, you know, your main way of playing like a foil Trag in your Edison deck, you know, unless you ball out, which a lot of people do for past format stuff. You know, I do myself. I have an Ulti French Tragoedia. Yeah, French, because Pro Play Games doesn't know the difference. I'm just kidding. I still like Pro Play Games. They're fine. That did, like, you know, piss me off. That ruined that was like pretty annoying to me, but whatever, it happens, right? I still got a French Alti Trag. It's still cool. But yeah, let's look at the price history. You know, sitting around $6, now it's $7, moving pretty quickly up to that $8. You know, and we're seeing a lot of more sales now. In this month and last month, we're seeing a lot of sales. LP near mint sell almost every day for around that $6 to $8 range. And we're really quickly seeing the quantities just completely disappear, right? As far as near mint listings go, we are down to 16, a pretty solid $7 price point. However, it does hike up to 8, and then to 9, and then to 15 and stuff very quickly. So I think if this card, you know, if you're a big Edison fan, this card is definitely good. Also, Tengu Plant is picking up a lot of steam, and this is a 2 of in that format. So I think having, you know, a good bit of ultra Trags, having a set, you know, having 1, having 2, having a set, I think that's the way to go. You know, you can still buy them for $7 to $8 for near mint copies, and if you're okay with light play, you can get them around that $6 price point as well. So I just think this is a really good one. This is one that I definitely could see being bought out. Like bought out, not just like regularly, you know, continually seeing more prices. We see Jump Things going away every day. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons kind of going off the market. So is Ocean, so is Ab-Zero. Just a whole lot of good jump cards. I think it's not too late, guys. I think it's not too late, and I think you should get them. Next we have Ultra Spirit Reaper. This is a very high quantity card. So this isn't one that I'm saying to go order right now at all. But this is one that I think, you know, you find them in binders. The ultra rares from LCYW, people will give them to you for like dollar cards, you know, dollar trade and stuff. I think those are good pickups. They have high quantities because it is an ultra rare in 2 different legacy collections or legendary collections. And there's like P gold and gold. So there's a lot of different rarities of this card. Obviously the super rare, the CP super is cream. That's the cream of the Spirit Reapers. But the rest of it's still not bad. Pick them up at $1, pick them up at $2. I don't think it's a bad idea. You know, they were like 30, 40, 50 cents like a year or 2 ago. And, you know, still being at $1, I think these are still some pretty good dollar stonks. So yeah, that is that. Now, the last thing that I want to cover here, before we just cover a couple of things that I think are cool, that I don't think, you know, you have to be in a rush. We'll talk about that here in a moment. That'll be a lot quicker than the rest of this video, because we're already at about 30 minutes in. But Super Colossal Fighter is still very, very low with pretty high quantities. You can get them for around like $3. That's like mod play. Look at like light play listings. They're about $3 to $4. Now, obviously, you could have gotten this for $1 like a month or like a couple months ago. As we can see here, you know, it was like $1 before 2022. Looking into like 2021, it was about $1. And same with the copies, the common copies and stuff. But the common is gone now. Somebody just like got the rest of them. And yeah, I mean, you're not gonna be buying common Colossal Fighters for that much, you know, for for like 10 and so forth dollars. But whoops, that is an option. Where did I go? Okay, I have so many tabs open right now, it's crazy. But yeah, I think Colossal Fighter is a good slunk. This is another one that is a 1 of in nearly every extra deck, a 2 of in some extra decks, and I think it's a must-have for Edison. It's a must-have extra deck staple for Edison format. Okay, that is all of the main ones that I wanted to cover. Now, I do have some that I think are just good little stonks. Maybe we should be picking up along the way. Non-common Raikos, gold rare, as we can see here, 15 listings, very, very quickly just disappearing from the market. $4 or $5 light plays in near mints for that card. Whoops. I think that's pretty good. P Gold even is disappearing, 22 listings. And the Starfoil down at 30 listings. And obviously the Super is very cool, but it is a little expensive. You know, if you're looking for first edition respectable copies, you're looking at around $16 to $20 for those. So, you know, getting those golds, P Golds, and Starfoils at very, very cheap, like $2 to $3, $4. I think that's a pretty good cop. In Raikou, it's a 2 to 3 of in nearly every Edison deck. I think it's one of the more staple cards of the Edison format, and I don't think it's a bad card to pick up. Now, even, honestly, commons, no, never mind. I was going to say commons are maybe penny stonks, but there's just so many, like, common printings. Just so many. That, yeah, look into the foil listings really only, but I think all of them are pretty understandable pickups. Next, we have pre-errata Goyo Guardians I want to talk about. Because there's a lot of different listings of them, but we see the DT is like pretty much gone now. The secret rare from the 10 is down to 12 listings. You have the original ultras down under 30 listings, and half those are probably shitty listings that are like unlimiteds and damage and heavy plays and mod plays and stuff. So like, you know, if you're looking for like respectable Goyo Guardians pre-erratas, you're looking at more so like $5 to $6 per copy. Across the board, really, to be honest, except for a couple cheap early prints. We have the Super from the Legendary Collection 5Ds. This is pre-errata for around $2 to $3. I think that's not a bad pickup. It is down to 26 listings, just seeing an incredibly low amount of listings. And then we also have the P Gold that a lot of people are just not fans of, right? P Gold is one of the uglier. I mean, look at the name. It's just ugly. It is unique, so some people do like it. But here we see like a bit of a price spike. But, you know, you're looking at like $1 to $2 for these. So, you know, you see these. I think this is a really good pickup. And I think just pre-errata Goyos in general, if you're looking to get into the Edison format, I think you should have multiple of this card. You know, any format or any form of pre-erratas, Ulti, DT, Secret, Ultra, Super, P Gold. Those are your options. All these other prints are post-errata and just don't really matter nearly as much. That's another one, Brionac, pre-errata. You know, the DT is very, very expensive now, but we still have the Hidden Arsenal Secret around that $5 to $7 range. Like $10. This was like $3 like a year ago. You know, we even have the Super Rare from... wait, what is this? Oh, the special edition. It's like $4. We have the golds gone at $3 to $4. They're just very hard to find. There's very low listings, very low quantity. So I think, you know, pre-errata Brios, other pre-errata cards that are just like in the format that have erratas now, that have old higher rarity, just foil really in general, pre-errata prints. I think those are good pickups. So that's another one. Next is Gores, just all Gores, literally every copy of Gores. The cheapest copies of Gores are like $2 to $3 now with low listings, like low quantities. And then you have like your cooler forms of Gores, you know, your Secrets from DLG and from Retro Pack, sitting at like a pretty respectable price now, like $10 to $12 copies, but just very low amount of listings in general. So I think all of these are pretty good pickups. You know, definitely, I don't want to say spend $12 to $15 on Secret Retro Pack Gores now, because they were like $3 like a year ago. But that just goes to show 5x over the course of like a year. I copped so many copies of the Secret Rare Gores. I actually hit the lottery and got some crazy things I won't talk about, but yeah, pretty crazy. Also, Ghost Gores, that is a pretty good penny stonk in my opinion. $20 light play listings. It's pretty hard to find near mint copies of these ghosts because they just get scuffed and stuff so easily, the ghosts do. But yeah, $30 near mint listings. I think that's that's insane for Ghost Gores, because this is a one of in literally every Edison deck. It's a one of in literally every Tengu Plant deck. It's a one of in every past format where this card is played, is playable before like 2013, 2012, probably like pre Dragon Ruler, right? Like anything pre 2012, where this card's legal, it's played. Basically. So I think Gores, like Ghost Gores, is an insane penny, or is an insane stonk. And every copy of Gores in general, I think is not a bad card to just get and hold on to and just have them. Because we've already seen it. You know, they're all 3-4 times the price that they were. When I made, like I said, I have 12 Edison decks, and I copped a lot of early, Gores. I spent about $1 per copy then, and now they're all sitting like a couple listings at like $2, but you still have to pay shipping. Like realistically, this is like a $3 card, and same with the rare battle pack. It's like $2 to $3 cards. So I just think Gores are good ones to have. Just any copy of Gores, pull them out of people's binders and stuff. Phoenix Wing Windblast is another one. It's this has the overlap of GOAT format as well, but you'll also have picking up a lot of steam in Edison, being played in a lot of decks. Things with the Hero Engine for Mali, things with the Dandelion stuff. Just a whole bunch of stuff. I think this card sees a lot more play nowadays in modern thinking than it really did in the old days. And we also have cards like Volcanic Shell in the Edison format and stuff that really makes these cards a lot better. Obviously, the ulti is very expensive. The super from CPs is gone now. Okay, fair enough. When did this happen? Yeah, I guess just now. Very, very recently. Okay. Like a month or two ago. That's wild. I didn't even know about that. Market Man slipping up, right? But we do have DT copies, and once again, DTs are kind of spooky for me to say to invest into now. I thought they were like the safest. I really did. I felt like they were like equally safe to like alties and stuff. Obviously not as good as alties, but equally safe. And then they proved me wrong with that this year, which really is unfortunate because .TTs is it's a massive piece of my collection. I'm a very big fan of the .TTs. But here, as we can see, very obvious price hiking. It's a $5 card now when it was like a $2 to $3 card. And there's only 2 pages of listings, 1.5 pages of listings. So I think, DT Wing Blast is really good, a very favorable foil, or like a very favorable version of the card. We have gold at sitting around 20 listings, and also secret from the legendary collection. Once again, just like kind of going up, kind of dip down, and then is going back up again. And this card's seeing a lot more play in Edison. It's seeing a lot more play in GOAT. Just in general, I think this is a good card to just pick up, right? When you see them in binders and stuff, I think it's a good card to pick up. Next we have Secret Rare Dandelion. This is one that I think is really good. So obviously we saw Alti get bought out a while ago, but then we saw it get bought out again, and now it's sitting around like 150, 130, 140, 150. Very crazy. That is obviously max rarity of that. However, there are some other really cool copies as well. We have the Dandelion from Jump, which is actually going a bit up, just like disappearing in quantities as we see multiple sales this week, a good bit of sales all around that $10 to $12 sales rate, and we still see that. We see that, right? There's one more 12, there's one more 12 by like unverified, and then a couple like 15s and stuff, and then it's gone for near mint listings. And then we also have light play listings that are all the same, right, around that same $12. So I think Jump Dandelion's a really good one to get, as well as come on guy, okay, and as well as secret rare copies. This has been pretty much the same price for a while now, so I don't think it's a bad time to buy in at all. We do see them starting to disappear though, and when we look at like light play listings and better, it is a pretty much $4 to $5 card, especially if you're looking for first edition, which is a pretty big deal for just like formats in general. I think old things first edition. I think you should always try to get first edition where applicable, when it's not already $1 million more. And even if it's something you don't personally care about, I think first editions just hold way better the test of time. So if you can get like light play in near mint first edition copies of this card around that $5 to $6 rate, I think that's a pretty good time to jump into Dandelion, because honestly this card has some other like alright prints, right? It has the super, it has the super from ABPF, which is a really cool one too, and it has a Dusa Ultra as well, which is probably a good penny stonk for the future, because we see like gold rare, P gold's really poopy though, like people don't really like the P gold, but I think like all these versions of the Dandelion, the Jump, the Secret, Dusa Ultra, and Super from ABPF are good pickups, mostly the Secret and the Jump. Next we have Elemental Hero Gaia. Now this card is something that the Secret is expensive now. It is, right? First edition copies are very, very expensive. We have one listing at 120, and then 250 and 250 and 250. So that is obviously max rarity. But this card still exists in other forms, the super and the common DT, both very low in quantity, especially the DT, only 1.5 pages, and it quickly raises from that one listing of $5. That is a good cop. I think I might buy that. $5, and then 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. And we also have the super rare copies sitting around that $4 plus, with pretty high quantities, just like pretty high quantities in general. However, this card is just seeing a lot more play in Edison format and stuff. We see it in Frog Hero, we see it in the Hero Beat, and all of these decks. I just think this card is a good pickup. I think it's a very good pickup, and as we saw, like the price is still current, or like currently is still normal, pretty high quantities, but I think, you know, we've seen Ab-Zero and stuff being played in high quantities, and every copy of that is $5 now. Gaia has less prints and probably less playability, but still, I think it's a card that you should be picking up right now. Voltic is a card that's kind of weird, but I don't think it's a bad pickup. This does have a lot of quantities. It has a dual terminal as well as a secret rare from PP, from Premier Pack. This is the one that I would target. You know, if you see these and stuff in binders, it's not a bad pickup. It's $3, high quantities, but still not a bad pickup. It is seeing a little bit more play in Hero Beat in both 2011 format, Tingle Plant format, as well as Edison. So I just think it's a good pickup. The next one is one that I feel is really good, actually. Super Rare Gemini Spark. We see very low quantities, 21 listings now. A very, you know, constant price hike where the price is not too, you know, gross from what it was. It was, you know, a couple months ago, you could have got it for about half price of what it is now. But this is still a really good time to buy into this card, I think. This is a 2 to 3 of in the Gemini, or in the Hero Beat deck that's being played in both Edison and 2011 format with Skill Drain and, you know, Neos Alias and all that kind of stuff. Making Ab-Zero and then just like beating down your opponent with Skill Drain and 1900 beaters. This deck is very strong, and this is a very strong card in the deck. It's just, you know, tribute a level 4 guy and then target a card on the field, destroy it, and then draw a card. So it's very, very powerful. And this is the only foil print, as you see. You know, there's a bunch of commons. They don't really matter because we're looking at the super, and I think the super is a good stock. I think this card should be like a $5 to $10 card in the range of 5 to 10. So if it does sit around that like $6, $7, $8 price range, picking them up at $3.50 and $4 is a good idea. Maybe not like the best if you're really just trying to make money, but not a bad idea if you're like trying to have them for playability and just a good long-term stock, and not even a long term, just like a little while, right? Anyway, next we have Ultra D Prison. This is a one that we're seeing very, very, very disappearing, right? So we have the super, the world champion game. This one's the coolest version. I think everybody understands that. I think everybody's in agreement. And that's why the near mint copies are like $20 to $25, with light plays straggling around that same rate, actually sitting around that same price. So if you have, you know, light play near mint copies of this card, you are looking at that price point of like around $20. However, the ultras that are pretty respectable there as well, because you know, it's the super and then 2 ultras, and then you have the platinum rare and then a bunch of common / rare ugly prints, but you do have the ultras, and these are still, you know, still at a not too bad price, you know, gone up about $1, gone up about 25% from this year, but still sitting around $4 to $5 copies here, for both the ultras, raw yellow and legacy collection, legendary collection GX. You can pick, you know, which one you like more. They're both pretty equal to me, to be honest. Raw yellow was pretty much the mega pack for, or I mean, it was basically the mega pack, and legendary collections were basically the mega pack before they were cool. So I think the ultra prints are pretty much equal to each other, and they are, you know, pretty high in listings still. So that's why I'm saying, you know, maybe don't go buy them all right now. Go buy 30 of these cards right now, but buy yourself a set. Or go, you know, find yourself a set, pick them up in stuff. I think these cards should be like $5 plus. You know, it's a 2 to 3 of in most trap decks in Edison, and this card sees a lot of play in other past formats that, you know, follow the same slower trend before, like E-Dragons, and even a little after E-Dragons, this card was like seen play again, like once we got into a slower format again. So I think this is a really good one to just have. Now we have 2 more that I'd like to get through. Gale the Whirlwind is a really good one in my opinion. This card is just, the quantities are just disappearing. You know, we see 12 listings, 18 listings, 30 listings, 30 listings, 20 listings, 20, 30, and 30. But obviously we can pretty much ditch the P Gold. It's still a $5 card, but we do see the Gold, we see the Super, the Ultra from Dusa, and the Ultra from Legacy Legendary Collection, all around that $5 price point. And there's so many that you get to pick your litter. You know, you get to pick from your litter. But I still think that's not that term. Pick from your litter. That's a gross term. That sounds awful. You get to pick of the litter. That's the term. You really get to pick what your favorite print of these cards. And for me personally, it's the AP Super. And I think there's probably some other people that agree, and the price point itself kind of agrees. However, this does have a higher market price. So, you know, it's between these two. But yeah, I think this card is a good time. It's kind of chilly in here. I'm going to get a jacket. I'm done the video, though. And then the last one is Volcanic Counter. Now, the Amaryllis Burn deck is seeing a lot more play. The Super is already expensive. You do have a couple, you know, cheaper straggler cheaper straggler copies, but once you look at first edition and respectable light play, you're looking at about $10. Now, the common for Volcanic Counter is about $1, which is kind of crazy. You know, you have your first copies, yeah, it's about $1. But why is the DT also $1? The DT is cooler than the common. I think this card is a really good penny stonk, or like $1 stonk, and we already see, you know, there's a couple of high quantity listings here, 29 and 27. However, I still think this card will be like a between $5 and $10, to be honest, like probably around $5. And when you're copying this card at about $1, like around this price point, I think it's a really good one to buy. So that about does it. I think if there's anything I missed on the Edison format, you know, this was as much of a deep dive as I was really willing to do, because I spent about 3 hours looking at this stuff last night. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's a long video. If you're still here, you're crazy, and I love you, and I'm so thankful that you watched the entire video. That's crazy. It's a long video. But yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about the Edison format. I do kind of want to explore more formats in a deep dive like this and see what cards I think are more so stonks and more so like just cards that you should pick up right now. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. And also, do not forget, I have an affiliate link, so if you guys do appreciate, you know, the work I'm putting into this kind of content and stuff, use my affiliate link. It directly supports the channel. It costs you no extra, and I really, really support it. I actually just got the dashboard unlocked, and I understand that it's actually working now, so it is working for 100% sure. So if you do use TCG Player, use the link. It's in the description of every one of my vids. I really appreciate it. Anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, affiliate link. That's my whole spiel. That's the typical Yu-Gi-Tuber spiel. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good week. Goodbye.